Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your man EGlaze here for another great conversation with another great person. I am so excited. We've done this in the past before, but we get to catch up with her again. Coach Val Whiting. Now, Coach, she's a baller. If you look at you follow her on IG or on social media, what she does, she's a baller. She gets the game going. Played at Stanford University, played in the WNBA, and this February she just came out with a nonprofit called "In Mentally Strong Her." Love the name of that. Love what it's visioning. And of course, got the silhouette with number 52. So we gotta love that as well. But please welcome Coach Val. How you doing today, Coach?
Great. Thanks for having me, EGlaze.
No problem, Coach. No problem. Let's start with this. And I am a very big advocate of the need for mental health in sports. I think people always think that you're an athlete, you got it going on. Why did you decide in February that you needed to bring this nonprofit forward?
Well, first of all, I'm sorry. It's not a nonprofit.
I'm sorry. Okay.
It's no, that's not your fault. It's I've been doing this for 6 years in the mental performance space, one on one.
Right.
And as you know, private coaching is expensive,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I wanted to make um, mental performance coaching more accessible to families, and so I opened up an academy called Mentally Strong Her Academy,
Okay.
where they pay a nominal price, and they get not only coaching from me, but they get a curriculum and tools and get to meet other female athletes in the community that are trying to improve their sports performance through sports psychology and mental skills as well. Interestingly, I have two scholarship spots open. I don't know if you can even tell that to your listeners, but I
No,
have
that sounds great.
a
Yeah.
full ride for 6 months available to um, low income or families that are just need help financially to pay for it. So I know that wasn't what we plan to talk about, but I wanted to put that out there just in case there are any parents listening.
No, I actually, I'm glad you cleared that up for me because I really appreciate it even more now knowing that you created Academy for that. What was in your 6 years of experience? What was it that you knew and you saw the need for this type of institution or academy to do this type of thing?
So it started in 2020 when the pandemic hit and I lost my job. I was working for a nonprofit
Mhm.
in the Seattle area, and I became a creator on TikTok, and my account was there to hype up the female athlete and talk about the WNBA and um, just encourage and amplify women's sports. And I started to get a lot of questions about confidence and
Mhm.
performance anxiety and how do I bounce back from mistakes. And I can't stop thinking about the game. What do I do? And so I was like, oh, there's a need out there. And plus, when I played in the WNBA, I struggled with my mental health and my mental
Mhm.
game to the point where I took a season off. I took a break from the game, and so I didn't have the tools. And so I was like, there's a need for this. Let me get educated. I did my first, I got a certification. Then I did a webinar called the Confidence Boot Camp for girls only. And it was just an hour and I gave them skills on how to build confidence and maintain confidence. And it just kind of took off from there. I went back to school and got my master's in sport and performance psychology and wanted to get as educated as possible because I mean I'm sure you see on IG anybody can call themselves a mindset coach or a mental
Right.
performance coach.
Right.
You can do a 3 month certification and put your to sign up on your door and you can start throwing terms around. I
Yep.
didn't want to be that person,
Right.
right? Especially being a black woman, I feel I have to be exceptional in my background and education. So um, I did that, went back to school, also got credentialed by the Academy, I mean, Association for Applied Sports Psychology.
Hmm.
And so I make sure I knew everything and not, I don't know everything, make sure I knew the basics and how to coach and the ethics behind being a performance coach and just do what I do. I love it. I feel it's my calling. I would do this for free if I could.
Hmm.
Um, I get to work with athletes outside of the sport of basketball. I have clients that are a fencer, water
Oh,
polo
wow.
player, tennis, sports I never had really any exposure to.
Yep.
If I stuck to, I used to be a player development coach as well. So I, I get to reach outside my sport and learn new things, meet new people. It's been great. Also, the cool part is I share this with my own kids. I have two
Right.
boys that play sports.
Yep.
One plays professional soccer, another one plays college basketball, and they use the same skills. And they actually listen to me, which is amazing because they didn't listen to me before.
You know, we
So,
knuckleheads. So, so even and I like what you just said. People think that mentalities differ in sports, but what have been some of the common um, aspects you've seen with mental issues as with sports athletes? What are some of the things that you've seen? Doesn't matter the sport, but it just goes from sport to sport. You see the same thing. What are some of those?
oh, perfectionism.
Mm,
Um, I see a lot of lack of self compassion.
mm,
People, I think it's great to be tough and be hard on yourself, but when you become so hard if you talk to yourself in a certain way, that's just tearing yourself down. So a lack of self compassion and perfectionism just seem to be the same across the board, and also holding on to errors and mistakes.
mm,
And yeah, a sports psychologist told me that for basketball, the average player holds on to mistakes for a minute and a half.
mm.
And in basketball, a lot can
Yes,
happen in a minute and a
that's
half.
a
And you
lot.
holding on to
Yeah.
that mistake that happened a minute and a half ago, how do you even play? So
Right,
that's
right.
that's some of the trends I see. Just the perfectionism, lack of self compassion, and holding on to mistakes.
You talked about going in early in your during your professional career, you needed to take a break. What did that teach you about today and to helping people? What is it that you learned during that period of time when you needed to take that time off for your mental health that you're able to help these newer or younger athletes with theirs?
For me, when I look back on it, when I was in it, I felt like I I didn't know what was going on or how to get the help. Or first of all, I was embarrassed. I didn't
Mm,
tell anybody. I didn't
mhm,
tell anybody until 2020 that
mm,
I took a season off because of depression, because I was just embarrassed. And as a professional athlete, you're supposed to be a gladiator.
right,
You're supposed to be tough. Nothing. You're not supposed to. Why do you feel sad? You're getting paid to play basketball.
right, right.
So I didn't tell anybody, but now when I opened up to my social media following about why I took the season off and urged people, girls especially, if you're feeling a certain way and
Hmm.
have certain symptoms and the sport that you love so much is making you sad, talk to somebody about it, get the help that you need. And that's it showed me to get help and showed me to tell others to get help, and it makes me more as a coach now, um, smarter and wiser when I hear kids talk. I think when I was a player development coach, if someone was said, Coach Val, I feel sad. The coach, the sport is making me, not feel great or whatever, I would have been like, suck it up. It's just
Right.
the old school kind of coaching. Now it's maybe more empathetic to what um, people are going through.
You talked about it, the young women. I'm father of two young ladies, so I expect, I'm very into women's sports. I covered the W for 12 years, one of my greatest things I've been able to do. But talk about that and you wanting to work with the mentality of young women in this game. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to take
Yeah.
in. There's a lot of pressures and I say chauvinism and things of that nature that you have to deal with as in the professional world. But what is it that you see and work with the young ladies to help them get through these mental issues?
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm a mom of two boys, but I just feel drawn to helping the female athlete. I see myself in all of them, just not being the self doubt, not being sure of yourself as a player, as a person. A lot of the players. I do have a lot of basketball players, and being a tall girl, that's a
Yes. Yeah.
you can do a documentary on being a tall girl and what you go through. So
Right.
I see myself in them.
Yeah.
uh, uh, Even though things are different now, we didn't have social media. We if
Right.
we got crossed up, nobody knew about it. Now you get crossed up, it ends up on the Sports Center
Oh yeah. Immediately.
page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Immediately. So, and it's amazing, like I said, being able to cover the W. And let me just stop ask you about that. Where, as a former W, one of the ones who helped bring this in and start this, how you feel about the W today, and where is it at, and where is it going? Where it's going?
I'm really excited about it. I remember when I was doing my TikTok in 2020, I did a
Yeah.
lot of WNBA content, and I would get bullied by
Yeah.
little boys because
Yeah.
I was doing. They were like, "Oh, you make less. Y'all make less than a Walmart manager and blah blah blah." Now everybody loves a W. Now it's
Oh,
like,
oh yeah.
if you don't watch the W, then what's wrong with you? But then people were like bullying me because I was
Right.
putting out content about the
Right.
WNBA.
Right.
So it's definitely changed. Even my son who plays soccer knows
Yeah.
WNBA players, not the well-known ones. He knows the
Right.
ones that, like I did a video for my two sons. I was like, I'm going to see which son knows the most WNBA players, and I showed them Ryan Howard. I showed
Right.
them Nafisa Collier. I showed them, gosh, I can't remember her name, Jewel Lloyd.
Yep.
And my son, I'm embarrassed. The basketball son knew nobody, but the soccer son knew everybody. So, and they want, there wasn't Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese that I
Yeah.
showed them. So it shows that it's definitely more mainstream.
And being a part of that, as it grows though, and whenever you just see it, and keeping with the mental health aspect of the game, that creates a different pressure. And I'm glad you brought up social media, because now everybody's a critic.
Oh
Everybody's
yeah.
watching it for the wrong. Some people, a lot of people, some people watch it for the wrong thing. Some people, it's everything. To be able to talk to and even in college now, I'm sure you see it with the NIL deals and all the thing that's going on. This new wave of mental issues that are attached to, I would say, success. How do you talk with the young generation about that? Because there's so many eyes now, maybe whether it's negative or positive, it is what it is, on women's sports. And how do you help deal with them, get through that, and help them through this transition?
Yeah, it's just tough. That's one thing where I cannot put myself in their shoes
Yeah.
because I never experienced that on that scale. Even I've had athletes that are feeling sad because they see people getting offers. So and so's getting an offer, and I'm not getting my offer.
Right.
I had one athlete didn't want to play hard defense on this player. I think is her name Special K. I think the player she was playing, I think is Special K.
Right.
Um, because she didn't play hard against her because she didn't want to end up on overtime as the
Oh yeah.
highlight.
Yeah.
So stuff like that, which I can't imagine, which I'm telling you, just play hard. But
Right.
I play hard to get crossed up. I may become a meme. So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
how do you deal with that? I'm still learning, to be
Okay.
honest. I'm still learning how to advise. I can't say stay off it because you need it. If you're in recruiting, you got to put your highlights up. You got to show content so
All right.
coaches know that you're
All right.
engaged and you're doing stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I definitely talk to them about where do you get your validation from? Who
Mm.
does it come from?
All right.
For my Christian athletes, I talk
Yeah.
about whose are you?
Yep.
You know. So yeah, I'm still learning how to approach that. Any advice, I'll take that.
Yeah. It's tough. I think a lot of people don't enjoy the journey. We want to enjoy everybody else's journey. I want to be like everybody else. I hear that from a lot of people, but the ones who enjoy it the most are the ones who just love it, enjoy the ride, enjoy that. And I'm glad you brought up something. How much does faith play in a lot of this for some of these athletes today? If it does, I mean, because your mentality, your spirit, all that kind of connects sometimes. So how much does that play in a lot of these athletes and their mental health going right now?
It depends. For my private clients, I started adding a question and an assessment questionnaire what are your spiritual beliefs? Because I want to know, because
Right.
I think it's really important. When you look at yourself from the 30,000 foot view,
Yep.
and then you think about how God sees you.
Yep.
I'm a Christian, but I do actually have two. I actually have two Muslim clients,
Hmm.
and so I can speak to faith, my faith, and they can relate to me. But when athletes don't have um, a faith or a spiritual background, I see they struggle more.
Mm.
They don't have,
Interesting.
they're not grounded, and don't have anything to come back to in terms of prayer and having and faith, and and knowing that what you're going through is for a reason,
Yeah.
and and you're on this earth for a purpose, and you're more than just a basketball player, you're more than just a water polo player.
Yep.
you know um, when athletes don't have that point of view, they struggle more, especially with their identity.
And it's funny you say that. I think sometimes a lot of athletes, and I want to see, ask you the question. It's hard for a lot of athletes to see tomorrow when they stuck in the past or in the day or looking. How do you try to get them through that to understand that the work that you're putting in can lead to a better tomorrow, and being looking forward to the next day and things of that nature, to the future, what I'm saying, and things of that nature.
Yeah, a lot of times I'll show them this graph of what improvement looks like. We think improvement looks like a straight line, just goes
Yeah.
just straight down, and as time
Right.
goes on, you're just going up.
Yeah.
But I show them this graph, and it's like this squiggly line of ebb going back and up and up,
Right.
and
Right.
they don't like this what it looks like, but that's what it looks like
Yeah.
when you're in your journey. You're taking a step back, then you're taking 5 steps forward, and then 3 steps to the left. But and not to sound like a cliche, but if you can actually see yourself getting better 1%
Hmm.
every day, you're improving. And this is
Right.
why I tell them to journal,
Mm.
because when you journal, you can actually see your journey,
Yeah.
and you can look back and say, oh, well, 3 months ago, I was doing this.
Hmm.
Even though I feel like this today, like I haven't moved, I have moved. Look what I did three
Right.
months ago.
Right.
So
Right.
that's why journaling is really, really key and important.
Coach, how many do you also work with ex-athletes? Because sometimes the hardest thing is when you have to put the ball down and move on with life. And have you dealt? Do you work with ex-athletes, get them through the past, let them know that, hey, you still can do great things, even though you can't do what you used to do. You still can do some great things out there. You can coach. You can be, mentor and things of that nature. Do you work with former athletes? I feel like you always to be an athlete. I'm just saying who not
Yeah, you're always
playing.
an athlete.
You're
Yeah,
always an
no,
athlete.
I haven't had the privilege of working with someone on their transition out of sports, because someone said that an athlete experiences two deaths.
Mm,
One when they stop playing their sport and
yeah,
their career ends, and then when their life ends.
yeah.
So no, I haven't had the privilege yet.
Through it all, what has been the most rewarding thing for you during this journey of not only getting the education that you needed to get to this level, to be a successful in this, and the people that you've been able to help? What has been this just been so good for you during this process?
Um, Sharing in other athletes' successes and hearing, they tried something and it worked. They tried a skill and actually worked, and they're like, "Oh, you were right. This stuff does work. Working on
Right,
mental game does make a big difference." And it's not like they went out and scored. We got 20 and 10. It was
right.
They didn't spiral after shooting an air ball, two air balls in a row or something. They kept shooting. For example, I got a text last week from one of my basketball players. She was at an AU tournament in Vegas,
Hmm.
and she, the beginning of the game, she was missing all her shots,
Mm,
and um, it, but ended up at the end hitting five threes.
mm,
And so she texted me and was like really excited because she stayed confident and kept that shooter's mentality, even though she had missed her first shots, where in the past she would have stopped shooting and
Hmm.
would have gotten frustrated. So I thought that was huge. That was a
Yeah.
huge breakthrough.
And it's shoot or shoot, as they say. Shoot or shoot, no
Yeah.
matter how it goes. Coach, I want to give you a chance right now. Thank you so much for coming and doing this interview with me. But this is where we plug everything. So I need you to talk about the scholarships. I need you to talk about where they can find you.
Okay.
I want to
All
put it
right.
all in this section so we can probably cut it up and let you tell it where it at. So you said earlier, I don't know if this the platform. This is the platform. I want you to put
Okay.
it out there, Coach, and
Okay.
talk about it real quick. What can they find about you and everything else, Coach?
All right. You can actually find me on Instagram at iam.coachval. And I read all my DMs, even from the bots. I'm like, dang, I thought that was a real person. I read all my DMs. So you can DM me because I have those two scholarships open. And the scholarships are for people who also financially need it, but also want to work hard. So
Gotcha.
I want you to get the scholarship and not show up to the coaching calls and not engage in the community and not use the tools. I want you to get the most out of it as possible, because it works and you're getting the stuff that I didn't have. You're getting mentoring from someone who's where you want to be, who went to where you want to be,
Right.
and I believe in this. So that's how you can find me. My website is mentallystrongher.com. You can also reach me there as well.
And there it is. So I already follow us. I know. So I do all that. Great work, Coach.
Thank
Continued
you.
success. And I know um, more people will be better um, if they just be mentally stronger. And I appreciate this, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. And thank you.
Thank
And have a great day, everybody.
Thanks, EGlaze.